Welcome to the NCAA Softball Regionals presented by Capital One. It is time for the regional final here in Austin. For the defending national champs, a win would vault Texas into the Supers for the 7th straight year, while Baylor will have to pull off 2 upsets today to keep their season alive. For the 2nd straight year, the Longhorns have opened up regional play with back-to-back run rule victories, while the Bears have had to get here the hard way, staving off elimination twice. Alongside Kat Osterman, I'm Alex Loeb, and Kat, Texas has absolutely cruised through this regional so far. They've outscored their opponents 18-1 heading into today.
Well, this matchup is exciting, but Texas is familiar with Baylor. They did match up twice this season, both run rule victories for Texas. Texas coming into this one hitting .429, third best in the regional field overall. And it is not just the power hitters that are known in a Texas uniform, Reese Atwood and Katie Stewart, both having days, but Vivi Martinez 3 for 3 day 1. Caden Henry, the 2-run walk-off home run yesterday, and the bottom of the lineup has really set the table for the top where the power is at.
Yeah, Texas putting up 21 hits in 2 run rule contests. Reese Atwood with career home run number 72, while Katie Stewart and Caden Henry have also had strong weekends. But how about Baylor's offense? They've also experienced a power surge this weekend, scoring 14 runs yesterday with Leah Cran leading the way.
Well, the junior has been the absolute spark plug for the Baylor Bears. A triple shy of the cycle in Game 1 against Wagner yesterday, was able to come up with crucial RBIs, walked twice, but also reached base with a single in the game against Wisconsin. She has been what Baylor needs to set the tone.
Offensively, Baylor has elevated their numbers across the board in the postseason when it matters most. So here we go, the Longhorns and the Bears, 2 familiar foes for Texas, looking to advance to a super, for Baylor looking to keep their season alive after the break. Time to take a look at Texas's starting lineup, brought to you by Capital One. The Longhorns, the visiting team for this Game 6, and Caden Henry having herself quite a regional 4 for 7 with a couple of extra base hits, a home run, and a double. That Longhorns offense will be going up against the sophomore ace for Baylor, Peyton Tanner, the transfer from Tennessee.
Well, the sophomore has been the ace down the stretch for Baylor. She has carried the load, was able to close out the game against Wisconsin yesterday. Didn't have to be used in Game 1 against Wagner, so was able to get some rest. But Alex, the big thing to know, Texas and Baylor matched up twice earlier this year. Tanner only threw 1 inning in both those contests. Did give up 4 runs, but Texas only having seen the sophomore for 1 inning.
Mike White, his streak, incredible streak, is on the line for the Longhorns. Meanwhile, he's looking to advance to a super regional for the 16th consecutive postseason, every season of his career going back to his time with Oregon, and the 7th straight with the Longhorns. So here we go, Texas and Baylor. They have met 70 times previously, never in the NCAA postseason until now. And the first pitch from Tanner is in there, strike one to Caden Henry. Caden Henry, the all-SEC center fielder, 4 hits this weekend, 4 runs driven in. And plenty of speed on the bases, dropping down the bunt, charging in from third, and unable to make a play is Marshall. When you talk about how important that is, Caden Henry led the SEC in stolen bases this year, and she's aboard at first.
Well, Caden Henry has incredible speed, and she deadens this ball just right as Keegan Marshall fields it. She understands a throw, not going to get the speedster. And also still on the run, so you also don't want to make an errant throw, allowing Caden Henry an extra 60 feet.
Here's the SEC Player of the Year, Katie Stewart, 3 for 6 in the regional. Recently named a top 10 finalist for National Player of the Year. Currently sitting on a Texas single season record, 25 home runs. Big swing and a miss. That drew oohs and ahs from the crowd here at McCombs Field.
If Peyton Tanner can continue to use that off-speed pitch without being predictable, she's going to keep Texas off balance. You see a changeup and a hitter's count there, and the big swing from a Longhorn.
Texas with the 3rd best batting average in the postseason of any team in the nation right now, hitting .429 this weekend. Stewart mashes one to left field, and that one is a towering blast off the building. Make it 26 on the year for the SEC Player of the Year.
This pitch by Tanner, it is up and in, but Katie Stewart has worked so hard to be able to hit the rise ball with more consistency this year. She stays through this one. Alex, that's 3 stories up. That one an absolute monster shot.
We asked her this week, how many times have you hit that grad student housing during your career? And she said, so many, I don't even know, I've lost count. I mean, when you talk about batting practice, at least a dozen times. And does it again today, extending her program single season record. And by the way, I mean, she's currently on pace to break Reese Atwood's career record. Atwood with 72 homers, but Reese Atwood's a senior. Stewart still has another year to go. She'll be coming up in a little bit, but here is Vivi Martinez as the 1-1 misses outside to her. Martinez went 3 for 3 on Friday night in her first postseason game in 2 years. Missed all of last season with a knee injury and has absolutely looked terrific in her first year back. She swats one foul the other way. This Longhorns offense has hit 84 home runs on the season now, top 5 in program history.
You can tell right now they've put a scout out. You see Vivi Martinez on time for that off-speed pitch.
They retired for the first out of the game. Well, here comes the mighty Reese Atwood, who went yard yesterday after going hitless on the opening day of the regional. When you talk about Stewart and Atwood's numbers combined, that duo has hit 128 home runs in their careers.
Well, the power Texas has been able to develop over the course of the last 5-6 years, and it started with Steve Singleton when he was here, and Aaron Earlywine now building on that as well. And it's interesting, you saw the power become very apparent what Texas was known for prior to this season. But then you see the consistent power out of like a Katie Stewart, and she'll mention the influence of Aaron early on.
Atwood to deep right center, and it will die down in front of the track as Carter is there. They're hitting the ball hard so far to begin the regional final.
Yeah, the air is a little thicker today. A lot more humid here in Austin than we saw on Friday and Saturday. So,
how much of a difference does that make?
I don't know as a hitter because I never hit a ball hard enough for the air to really change it.
Good
but
point.
I have seen times where it's more humid and balls that you think are going to be out get held up just a little bit. Not like a wind gust, but they just don't fly as fast sometimes.
Peyton Tanner misses to Leanne Good. Tanner had looked so good this weekend. The sophomore in the circle had allowed just one earned run in her previous 11 innings of action in this regional. Texas already with a couple of hits off of her, including the big 2-run blast from Stewart.
What's interesting on Stewart's is Peyton Tanner hasn't thrown inside to righties a lot in this regional. Saw her beat Wisconsin with curves away, her off-speed pitch, but throws that up and in on Stewart, and she was ready for it.
Texas averaging about 7.5 runs per game on the season. Full count on the way to Leanne Good. Payoff pitch from Tanner. Good sends one to deep right center field. Same spot Atwood hit it. And Carter is there, but the damage is done. Katie Stewart adds another to her impressive resume. 26 bombs on the year, 2-0 Texas here in the first. Let's take a look at the Baylor Bears starting lineup, brought to you by Capital One. The speedster Brooklyn Carter leading things off. 5 hits so far in the regional, and she has wreaked havoc on the base paths. 3 stolen bases, but getting out of a number of rundowns as well. So she will start things off for this Baylor offense against Tegan Cavan, who has been lights out against Baylor in her career. 17 1/3 against the Bears. Allowed just 5 total hits, Kat.
Well, Tegan Cavan throws a lot of up spin, and so when you're Baylor and you're used to using short game slap, you have to make sure you stay on top of it. Easier said than done. So Tegan Cavan has been absolutely masterful against the Baylor Bears. Texas looking for her to start that here, but on the flip side, Baylor has done an incredible job of putting pressure on defenses so far in this regional, and Brooklyn Carter is going to look to start that here.
It's a Baylor team that's won 30 games on the year, making their 17th appearance in a regional. They made it to a Super 2 years ago. So looking to upset the Longhorns twice today A tall hill to climb to try and make it back there. As Glenn Moore, what a job he has done with this year's team. 18 underclassmen on this squad. And that speaks to the coaching job Glenn Moore has done in his 26th season, guiding them back to the postseason after they missed out last year. Chop to Kavan, and they get Carter.
Pretty sure Baylor's going to ask for this to be replayed. I thought by the naked eye, Carter beat that. The high hop gave her some time.
Baylor's challenging the out on the field at first base.
You see Carter, the high hop. Tegan Vaughn got rid of it as quick as she could. But a foot race with Carter.
Close call, our first challenge of the day from Glenn Moore and the Bears. What do we think there, Kat? It looks like Glenn Moore may be successful early on here.
Yeah, I think that foot touches right there, and then the ball's in the glove, so.
I mean, she is so tough to get out with that speed. Second in the Big 12 in stolen bases, 26 on the year. 3 this weekend. This team in general, one of the fastest in the conference, and that speed may have paid off right there.
Well, it's interesting, you see the replay. Tegan Kavan comes forward, but J.C. Nichols was coming over. And as a pitcher, there are times you have to relinquish and let your infielder who has momentum, a better arm going that way to try to make that play.
Smokey Eds ready to make the announcement.
After further review, the call on the field is changed. The runner is safe. Baylor still has 2 challenges left.
So Baylor retains their challenge after being successful. Call overturned, and the Bears in business with Carter over at first. Here's Samaya Jones. We talked about the speed of Carter, but you have one of the best defensive catchers in the game in Reese Atwood, who nearly got Carter at first. Atwood has only allowed 4 stolen bases all year.
Well, Reese Atwood, the reigning Johnny Bench Award winner, best catcher in the country, and we have watched her over the course of the career. She has picked runners off first. We've seen her throw runners out, obviously. The absolutely masterful pick down at third that I think was shared all across social media. But after watching yesterday, you know she is waiting and almost drooling to be able to pick a runner off who thinks they can get a big lead.
Jones drops down the bunt, Kavan. And that one gets away from Katie Stewart. Carter will retreat to third, thought about heading home, and here come the Bears with 2 in scoring position.
Well, this bunt from Samaya Jones. Right to Tegan Kavan, but the low throw, Katie Stewart can't come up with it. And right now, it's the pressure that Baylor has put on defenses. Texas hasn't really been tested defensively in this regional so far.
The call on the field was no interference on the batted runner. That call is being challenged by Texas.
Okay, a couple of challenges here to start things off in inning number 1. This time, it's Mike White offering up the challenge.
Well, there is a runner lane, so Samaya Jones has to run outside the foul line towards the orange bag. If she is inside, it is interference.
Texas charged with an error initially on this play. The Longhorns defense had been perfect through the first 2 games of the regional.
Samaya Jones never got fully outside that running lane. You see how her feet there are inside. The question is going to be conclusiveness, but I don't think she ever got herself in that running lane, so this could get overturned.
Well, this is how how Baylor took down Wisconsin last night in our second elimination game. They used small ball, Carter speed, Jones bunting, and that's really been their bread and butter all season long and their key to success. The players looking up at the video board in center field to get a closer look. Mike White does the same from the dugout.
I'm not sure if they have to look and see, did the runner actually impede with the play, or if her being inside that line long enough is, you see right there, 2 steps in, she's still inside that line. And that is where the interference can come from, because Katie Stewart can't stretch down that line if a runner is there.
As it stands now, Jones would be at second, Carter at third with no outs. Texas would be charged with an error, but that is pending the announcement after this review.
Alex, 2 for 2, 2 plays, 2 reviews.
We talked about Texas hadn't really been tested in this regional so far. 2 run rule victories, 9-0 and 9-1. For Baylor, it's been the opposite story. Their first game, they went to extras against Wisconsin, losing by 1. And then they had to play 2 elimination games yesterday. The Bears run-ruled Wagner and took down Wisconsin in the nightcap 5-2. So they are used to being in close contests. This is a Baylor offense that heading into yesterday had scored 1 total run in their last 21 innings. They exploded for 14 yesterday. 15 in the regional. Looking to break through here in the first after what has turned into a lengthy review at McCombs Field. The umpires still looking at it. Today's umpires, Smokey Edge, Aaron Golden, Matt Johnson, and Jenna Bouillon. And Smokey Edge is ready.
After further review, the call has been changed. The batter runner is out for interference. The runner at third base goes back to first base.
You hear the roar
Texas
of the
still
crowd.
has 2 challenges left.
Each coach successful. Interference on Samaya Jones.
And you see, Samaya Jones never gets outside that foul line, which then obstructs Katie Stewart's ability to stretch, to see all the things. And I do believe that's the right call after looking at that review. As a runner, you have to get outside that foul line into that running lane towards the orange bag. You don't just have to touch it. You have to be outside of that to get to that bag.
So each team still with 2 challenges. Texas talking things over in the circle. So for Baylor, instead of 2 in scoring position and no outs, they have 1 runner on first, Brooklyn Carter, and 1 away, Faith Piper, coming up.
Well, it's an unfortunate break for Baylor, as they did put pressure on Texas. And now Texas in the mindset of, okay, they are going to play short game. We have to get in this. You can regroup and reset with that timeout and that delay for the review.
This is what Baylor does. And again, they were run ruled twice by Texas earlier this year. Atwood potentially expecting Carter to go.
I believe someone in the dugout had to have said going, and Carter gets really good leads. She leads hard every time, so if you're the opposing team watching to see if she's going to steal, you get caught in saying going even when she's not.
Kavan waits for it. 2 away as the runner advances. Carter in scoring position. And here comes the Baylor Bears RBI leader on the season, Amber Tobin. Senior shortstop having a career year. Baylor no stranger to deficits, a number of comeback victories and comeback wins late in games as well.
Well, the important part of the top of the first there was after the 2-home run, Peyton Tanner was able to get 3 outs and keep the deficit only at 2. You let that pile up against Texas and a pitcher like Tegan Kavan, it's going to be harder to get out of that hole, but 2 runs, something manageable for Baylor right now.
Tegan Kavan 23-4 on the year. And in her career, 11-2 in the NCAA tournament. Now ahead 1-2.
I'm talking about Amber Tobin here up to bat. It was really Amber Tovin's mindset and motivation yesterday that spurned Baylor. They said she came up with not today. Like, careers aren't ending today, our season's not ending today, it's not today that we lose out. And that pushed them emotionally more than anything.
Strikeout number 1 on the day for Kavan.
Well, Tegan Kavan freezes Tovin with this changeup. She's been using the rise ball quite a bit against Baylor, but executes this pitch masterfully right over the heart of the plate.
There is nothing like the Women's College World Series.
Well, taking a look at this regional in Austin, the winner will advance to face the winner of the Texas A&M Arizona State battle currently going on in College Station. And as a reminder, that game is going to be on ABC at 3 Eastern, 2 p.m. Central coming up. A&M has to win twice to advance. Arizona State will move on with 1 victory.
And that regional aligning with this regional has so many different storylines. We've talked about it. Obviously, A&M and Texas, the heated rivalry in the state. But with ASU, Megan Bartlett is the head coach there for the Sun Devils. Previously, before taking that job, she was under Mike White here at Texas. So no matter who comes out of that one, there'll be some fun storylines for Super Regionals.
Anna Wells over to short. Tovin is there. Well, the key for the Bears and Peyton Tanner in the circle, keep the ball in play because the defense behind her has been terrific this weekend and all season long. A program-high 31 double plays turned this year, including a season-high 3 last night in a crucial elimination game.
Last night, especially every time a Wisconsin threatened, it felt like Baylor got the ground ball, whether it was to Faith Piper or a pitcher, because 2 of those double plays started with the pitchers, but they were able to erase the threat, get themselves out of a couple jams.
Since giving up the home run to Stewart, Tanner has now retired 5 in a row as Alyssa Sneed flies out to left.
Interesting, especially this inning. Texas being aggressive early in the count. Peyton Tanner has worked deep in the count quite a bit in this regional. And Texas not making her have to be efficient with how aggressive they're being on strikes.
First pitch of ball to J.C. Nichols, freshman third baseman, who had the game-winning hit on Friday. Big-time recruit, top 10 in the nation out of Durant, Oklahoma. He watches that one cross the strike zone. Provided some great defense. Couple of freshmen on the left side. Great defenders from Mike White. Nichols at third, And Sneed behind her and left this year. Made some highlight reel plays this weekend in the SEC tournament and all year long.
Well, Texas fans really questioned how they were going to replace Mia Scott at third base, and defensively, JC Nichols has done that. And as of late, offensively, she has started to come on, being able to use her bunt, her slap. We even saw her swing away here in the regional, but being more of a triple threat. She started the year primarily swinging away, struggled some, and so Texas said, hey, let's utilize your speed, short game slap, and that's really opened up things for the freshman.
Chopped foul. We're talking about the defense of Nichols. You know, some people think at times maybe Mike White overlooks that. He says, not true at all. I know at times it's been a topic of discussion on the 40 acres, but he has metrics. He uses what the defense has to be at entering the postseason, the fielding percentage. Last year, they elevated their play once they hit the NCAA tournament. And as we mentioned earlier, no errors in the first 2 games. There's one by the pitcher, Peyton Tanner, and that will cost her team as Nichols reaches with 2 away.
Well, this an off-speed pitch, and Nichols just touches it off the end of the bat, and you can tell that has some spin. So Peyton Tanner tries to field that one, and it just spins up and off her glove. A little English put on that one by JC Nichols.
Well, what were we just saying a moment ago, how good this Baylor defense has been, and there is the announcer jinx. Ashton Maloney takes ball 1.
Well, and as a pitcher, especially when you see a ball spinning, you almost have to smother it. You can't try to be quick on your transfer, but unfortunately with JC Nichols' speed, you also can't take too much time.
Runner is going. The throw into second goes into center field. So Texas now with a runner in scoring position in the form of JC Nichols. Maloney ahead in the count 2-0. She's reached 3 times in this regional. Already with a couple of walks and 1 ball away from adding another.
Well, you can tell as postseason comes, Mike White really trying to utilize the speed. JC Nichols at her 15th stolen base. 12 behind Caden Henry, so Caden Henry comfortably still in the lead for the team, but he's putting more runners in motion now with postseason to make sure that teams, as you scout now, you have to be ready for them to possibly push the envelope with speed. He has JC Nichols, you mentioned it, Alyssa Sneed can run as well. Ashton Maloney, 8 for 8 on the year with stolen bases, so if she gets on, she's likely to go ahead and take an extra 60 feet as well.
Texas 21-3 in regional games under Mike White. It's most wins in the nation by a head coach during his tenure. Maloney thought she was headed to first. Not so fast.
Well, nice corner there. I thought that one was low too, and especially with how tight the zone's been so far in this game.
3-1 poked foul, and a full count coming up. A big spot for Tanner here. You get this out, the inning is over. You allow Maloney to reach, then you go back up to the top of the order. Some of the most lethal hitters, certainly in the SEC, if not the nation, with runners on. Maloney chops one over the head of Tanner, charging in, and unable to make a play is Tovin. Runners on the corners.
Well, this is the second slap in this game that we've seen with that high hop, and that is buying these runners some time. Tovin knows she has no play, tries to fake the throw, but JC Nichols stays tight at third base. A perfect slap by Ashton Maloney.
Maloney is going. There will be no throw, so 2 in scoring position. Caden Henry dropped down a bunt single to start off the game. You talk about a player who's a dangerous hitter. She is top 3 all-time in program history in batting average. Just a few points under 400. Swinging away off the glove of Tanner, and 1 run will come in. The Longhorns extend their lead.
So this hard hit up the middle, and you think Peyton Tanner might keep it from being a base hit, but instead ricochet off her glove. And again, the speed between Nichols, Maloney, and Henry, no play for the defense.
Well, and Baylor will call time to talk things over, trying to make sure this game doesn't get away from them. Texas with a 3-0 lead, out hitting the Bears 4-1, and Katie Stewart coming up. Here's what she did just an inning ago. Top 10 finalist for National Player of the Year, showing why. She hit this one nearly 300 feet, Kat.
Oh yeah, that one went 293 feet. And Alex, her home run against OU during that series went viral. That one was only 272 feet. So
Only.
Only. But this one, 21 feet farther. And I told you, I thought that might be the longest one we've seen her hit here at McCombs.
Are those plexiglass windows? Are there people there?
Now let's go back when they were building those and that building was empty. She did break a window, and I heard since she broke that window they did go back and double pane or change the glass, so that way, yes, it's the inability to shatter a window or make it more difficult, I should say.
Henry steals second. Stewart certainly slowed down the building of that grad student housing. Let's see what she does here in her second at bat of the day. You give Texas a 3-0 lead in the regional. That's a tough thing to come back from, considering Texas hasn't lost a regional game in 4 years. 2022, the last time it happened. And for Baylor to advance to a super, they would have to beat Texas twice today. Longhorns haven't lost 2 games in a regional in 8 years. Tanner not taking any chances with Stewart, and you can't blame her.
You can't blame her, but at the same time, who do you want to pitch to in this Texas lineup? As we mentioned, day one, Vivi Martinez cashed in RBI-wise, going 3 for 3. Had the first RBI of yesterday's game with a sac fly.
Bases loaded for Vivi Martinez. Swinging away and pops it up on the first pitch. Tanner and the Bears get out of a major jam, but the Longhorns do tack on one more, up 3-0 in the regional final.
The NCAA Softball Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Texas and Baylor meeting up for the 71st time. The old Big 12 foes, Texas holding the advantage 44-26. Again, this is the first time they have ever faced each other in the NCAA tournament. As for how the Bears got here, well, they faced a brutal schedule, toughest in the Big 12, 10th toughest overall in the country, and ended the regular season 41st in the RPI.
Well, Baylor, an absolute gauntlet down the stretch. Had to play Oklahoma State and Texas Tech, their last two Big 12 series. They did get a win against Texas Tech, but then matched up with the Red Raiders for the first game of Big 12 tournament as well. So we're talking about how they entered the postseason and a little bit of a decline offensively and probably incline with ERA's pitching, but you just faced the top two teams in the Big 12 to end your season. And if anything, Glenn Moore said he thought they were battle-tested coming off of those two series and having seen elite arms.
Faced a meat grinder of a schedule to end the season. 4 straight contests against Texas Tech before this regional. Before that, 3 straight against Oklahoma State. That's a couple of top 15 teams. Of course, they did pick up the huge win over Texas Tech. Their biggest victory of the season. They trailed at one point in that game by 5. Their biggest comeback in more than a decade. And that certainly helped them get into this regional. Leah Cran up the middle. Good, diving for it, backhanded, and makes the play. Leanne Good.
Well, off the bat, this looks like it's going to be a base hit. Leah Cran going up the middle, but Leanne Good showing off the arm at second base. An absolute web gem of a play by the second baseman.
Tegan Kavan, who usually doesn't show that much emotion, is absolutely pumped. Swinging away at the first pitch, Kagan Marshall to left field. And Sneed is there quickly, 2 away.
Well, that's not just a big play to keep the ball in the infield. When your infielder has the arm to be able to gun down a runner like that, if you don't get fired up, I want to know, I want to know what your inner feelings are doing.
Tegan Kavan usually has that poker face out there, cool, calm, and collected. Let the emotion show for that one. Here's Olivia Bittner, and Kavan delivers a strike. Remember last year, to end the postseason, Kavan had that stretch of 31 2/3 consecutive innings in the Women's College World Series without allowing an earned run, earning most outstanding player honors. And that stretch carrying over into this postseason. Again, that's scoreless innings when you talk about earned runs not allowed.
Well, when it comes to postseason, as you mentioned, Alex, Tegan Kavan just turns it on to a new level. And we talked to her, and a lot of that, I believe, is mentally and emotionally. And she felt like in the SEC tournament this year, she really figured out mentally how to be at her best.
Didn't even let you finish your thought. There's another strikeout for Kavan. She is absolutely cruising. Second of the contest. The Longhorns lead it by 3 after 2. Welcome back to the NCAA Softball Regionals presented by Capital One, heading to inning number 3 here in the regional final in Austin. And joining us is Baylor Bears head coach Glenn Moore. Coach, you saw your team stave off elimination twice yesterday. What was the message to your squad today with your season on the line yet again?
Yeah, you don't do a whole lot of coaching this time of year. You know, you prepare them for your competition, let them know what they're going to face, and they motivate themselves. So that's pretty much it.
Coach Peyton Tanner running into a little bit of trouble in the first, but able to escape the jam in the second. What's the conversation between her, yourself, Brittany?
Yeah, well, first of all, we got to make some of those PFPs up the middle, and we do that, we face fewer batters. You don't want to face this lineup any more times than you have to, and we make those plays. We're out of that inning a little bit earlier, but she's doing a good job. She gave up a big bomb earlier. You know, we had opportunity on that leadoff. I thought we were in the right coverage there, but she just laid down a great bunt, so that doubled the runs that home run gave up. So, you know, we just got to keep fighting. We had opportunities offensively the first inning. I'd like to see that play at first a few more times. I thought it was a bad throw, but, you know, that kind of took our momentum that first inning on offense. So she's doing okay. She's just got to be careful out there.
I appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
What a job Glenn Moore has done in Waco. 26 seasons, the winningest coach in any sport in Baylor history, making his 17th appearance in a regional and hoping this is not his final game of season number 26.
Well, and he talked about it. Peyton Tanner makes a couple of those plays. We saw the one ball spin away from her from J.C. Nichols, and then the other off her glove on Kaden Henry. And a lot of times he called it PFP, pitcher's fielding practice. And so a lot of times when you see or hear a dugout after a pitcher has made a good play, they chant PFP, PFP.
I quizzically looked at you like, huh? When he said PFP, there you go.
Well, because when a team does defense, a lot of times the pitcher's out of the way. So that way everyone can get their reps, they can move. And a lot of times coaches will just yell, okay, PFP. Everyone knows it's time for the pitchers to head to the circle and take their defensive practice.
Well, how about Peyton Tanner blowing one past Reese Atwood? We don't see that too often. 1-2 coming up. Atwood doesn't chase.
And to his point, when you face an offense like Texas, we mentioned hitting .429 coming into today for the regionals alone. That's third best in the regional field. You don't want to give them extra at-bats if you don't have to.
Atwood flies out.
And those errors obviously turning the lineup over for Texas a little quicker than Coach Glenmore would like.
Well, listen, Texas started off, first 2 batters of the game got hits. Henry single, Stewart home run. Since then, Tanner has only allowed a couple singles, but Texas did take advantage of an error by the Baylor pitcher. Here is Leanne Good, who are, you're quite familiar with, Kat, and that's not going to change. A draft pick in the AUSL by your Volts. You will see her closely at the next level.
Yeah, she was a recipient of the golden ticket, but she was our second-round draft pick. Really a utility player. She's played second a lot for Texas, but for us specifically, I needed someone that I knew could play infield and outfield, and so if you remember to her sophomore year, there were times that she was playing in the outfield and comfortably and well, and so I feel like she can fill almost every position on the field minus pitcher and catcher.
So what you're saying is you're moonlighting here. You're broadcasting and scouting.
Well, I mean, if you're given the opportunity to see a lot of players across the country, but really when it came down to it, we looked at her numbers offensively compared to some other utility players we were eyeing, and she just has the ability offensively to do so much with her patience, with her small ball, and some power.
Impressing her GM here beside me with the one-out walk. Here comes Hannah Wells. Well, you talk about a player who has been red hot late in the season, Hannah Wells, who certainly hasn't hit a freshman wall. 4 home runs in her last 7 games. And on Friday, hit a program record 14th home run. That's a new Texas freshman record for a single season.
Well, it's not just her power, it's ability for her power to come up clutch. If you remember back midseason, she had a pinch hit home run against Oklahoma that set up Katie Stewart's walk-off home run. So the freshman, when she's in the box, there are no freshman jitters, no nervous energy. She has really been able to use her power in the most impactful moments for Texas.
Even in interviews, we talked to her after the game on Friday. You broke the Texas freshman record. This is your first postseason appearance. She was like, yeah, whatever, ho-hum. Big deal, we move on.
She just talked about having a mindset, trying to stay within the zone, not chase a whole lot. Sometimes that chasing comes with nerves, so being able to settle that down. I think the most
back as good was going.
Impressive of her is the recognizing that she has the ability to chase out of the zone, and then learning how to rein that in and understand where they're trying to pitch her so she doesn't chase too far in that direction.
Over to third, and they get one at second. Wells just beating out the throw at first, 2 away. There comes Alyssa Sneed, the freshman left fielder. Sneed lights out left field, 20 straight games without an error entering the postseason, but there's a swing and a miss. So again, the winner of this regional moves on to play the winner of the A&M regional. The Aggies would have to win twice to advance. They've already lost once. While Arizona State moves on with just one win today. That game will be on ABC coming up at 2 Central, 3 Eastern. A lot of host teams like the Aggies on the brink, suffering a loss on one of the first 2 days.
Yeah, there's 3 teams that are vying for a double dip today. A&M, one of them right now. Duke playing Arizona. They're going to have to win twice. They are up 6-4.
Sneed over to second, scooped up nicely by Piper. And the top half comes to an end. It remains a 3-0 game here in Austin. Texas, the number 2 overall seed, entertaining the hometown fans. It's hot, humid out here. Got some nice, tasty lemonade. Kat, you usually have somebody bring you that up, a personal delivery person. Not for me. Taking a look at some storylines around the country. How about Oregon getting eliminated? Keep in mind they were without their ace, Lindsey Grind, who missed the entire regional due to an eye infection. Texas Tech pulling off a historic comeback. They were down by 8 runs in the bottom of the 7th. Teams were 0-640 when trailing by 8 in an NCAA tournament game of this century. Texas Tech picking up the win, and 3 national teams facing elimination today. That Texas Tech game was insane.
Oh, that was. They were down to their final out with no run scored. They had a runner on and 2 outs. And were able to mount that comeback. And I think the softball world in general, one, shocked that Ole Miss had them down 8-0, but then 2, with 1 out to play with, Tech was able to come back, tie it, eventually win it in the 8th.
Yeah, Ole Miss retook the lead in the 8th inning. Still couldn't hold on. Today expected to be another crazy day around the nation. Regional final day. Texas with a win in this one moves on to their 7th consecutive super regional. And for Mike White, 16 straight every single time there has been a postseason. Mike White has advanced to a super, of course, excluding the COVID-shortened year. We talked to Mike White this week. He said, coming off last year, winning it all for the first time, he realized the key is just the fundamentals. The postseason does not come down to one big play or two. It's a bunch of little plays. Don't make the mistakes. It is all fundamentals. And so far, his team has played fundamentally sound ball. No errors in this regional. They are averaging about 9 runs per game offensively. And Kavan so far has been brilliant this weekend. Scooped up by Martinez. Sport with the tag.
Well, Tegan Kavan, we talked about it. Postseason last year, absolutely on a different level. You see the difference in ERA over a one degree difference, 1 run difference there. But so far this postseason, no runs scored. We talk about the SEC tournament. If you take that championship game and let's say factor that into the postseason, just 1 run, and she was able to mow down Alabama. But Alex, we were touching on it before Texas came to bat. I truly think, especially this year, it's the mentality for Tegan Kavan. She knows she's experienced. She has hard games under her belt. She talked to us about talking to herself as opposed to listening to the self-doubt and the feelings come in. She said she started the 3 games of SEC tournament. The 3rd day, felt herself or heard herself saying, I'm tired. Like, how is this going to go? And finally, she's like, no, I'm going to change the narrative. Talk to myself. I can do this. I can keep us in the ball game. I'm not trying to put together an incredible, insanely master performance. I'm trying to go out 1 pitch at a time and keep us in the ball game. And I think that mindset shift, once you get to postseason, it can be so crucial for a pitcher. And if you're experienced, it's easier to turn that on.
It was interesting to hear her open up to us, be candid about those conversations she's been having with herself in the circle this year, and they have needed her more than ever this season. She's thrown 51% of Texas's innings. That is above last year's numbers as the Longhorns have continued to look here even to the postseason to see who will be their number 2 starter. They began the regional with Citlali Gutierrez getting the start. She only lasted 2 innings. Kavan, another K, number 3.
Well, the way Kavan can vertically separate is almost unfair. This is a drop ball in the outer half after giving a heavy dose of rise balls, and Gussman unable to touch that one.
It's not bad for a kid who never played high school softball, Tegan Kavan. Not bad defense either. The junior getting it done. Adds another strikeout and another 1-2-3 frame. We will talk to Mike White coming up after the break. Texas taking a 3-0 lead into the fourth inning here at a packed house at McCombs Field. And we're now joined by Longhorns head coach Mike White. Coach, your team is 4 innings away from moving on to the Supers, as we can see by Caden Henry's reaction behind you. Your team seems relaxed. What has impressed you most about them this weekend?
Well, that's just staying relaxed, staying to the task, and just taking one pitch at a time. We talk a lot about that, and that's all you really can control. And so we just got to stay in the moment here and work for each pitch and try to win it.
Coach, the offense came out with a bang early. What has been the conversation in the dugout as you guys continue to see Peyton Tanner?
Well, yeah, you don't want to get into deep count, so she's got a lot of tricks up her sleeve, and you want to kind of get after that pitch if it's there, and we're able to do that straight away. And then we've left a couple on base, but we got to keep working hard here.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Hey, thank you. Hook 'em.
Mike White's Longhorns, 44 wins on the year, a 45th. Would advance them in the postseason. Meanwhile, Peyton Tanner in the circle. The sophomore righty has settled down after giving up 2 hits, including a home run to the first 2 batters. Just 2 singles allowed through the last 14.
Yeah, she really has settled down, and she does have a couple different off speeds. You see the changeup. I think there's an off-speed curve, and that's what Texas is getting ahead of from time to time. So when he says she has tricks up her sleeves, she's able to do a couple different things by changing speeds and spin. Alex, I'm going to go back to Caden Henry behind him real quick. I did get a story on that wig. So they dropped the first 2 games to Arkansas in that last SEC series, and Coach basically told the team, hey, show up different tomorrow. Yeah. Well, that was Caden Henry's version of showing up different. She came in the wig, and there's always someone who provides a little bit of those loose vibes, and even if you're an intense player, you can at least laugh and relax a little bit when someone takes that challenge a little bit differently.
Yeah, she doesn't seem too stressed. How important is that balance of, you hear some teams say we're going to treat it as a business trip, be all serious, but also to be relaxed out there? I mean, after all, it's just a game.
You do have to remember it's a game, and while, yes, you're here at a university to play that game and play it well, it's still a game, and if you put too much on it, then you take yourself out of your element. And, you know, I'll go back to my playing days. You've had experience with my battery mate, Megan Willis.
Yes.
Would you true to the task, we are completely different personalities.
Beating that one on no throw as Nichols drops down the bunt.
Two very different personalities, and I'm dead serious intent, and she was the fun-loving balance of the team. Turns on the music, crazy dances, gets everyone loose, cracks the joke when it's necessary, understands when it's not the time. And so you have to have that person who can bring the lightness to where you're not getting overly intense to where failure then is escalated when it doesn't need to be.
You weren't wearing wigs in between innings?
I would not have been the wig wearer behind Coach, no.
Here is Ashton Maloney. Base hit in the 2nd inning. Got Nichols over at first. Texas with a base runner every inning so far.
Well, the first leadoff Texas has been able to get since the 1st inning, so great job by J.C. Nichols to get that infield hit. And Texas is going to do that with the off speed of Peyton Tanner. The slappers who are quick, just trying to touch the ball, let it spin, and see if they can get on base.
Over to second, on to second for 1, and that's all they'll get. Did you have more of Tegan Cavan's personality? How would you describe your personality in the circle?
I had Tegan Cavan's intentfulness and composure, I feel like. A little more intensity, I'll say meanness, but a little more of an intense, mean look.
Oh, what a grab by Cran, and dives back to first. We talked about Baylor's defense and their record number of double plays this year. There's another one.
Oh, this is a hard hit by Caden Henry, but in the right spot for Baylor. Leah Cran, this is the 2nd time we've seen her with a play like this in this regional.
championship for the first time. There drills that one deep and gone. Leanne Gould, 3-run home run. Scott smashes that deep center field. Mia Scott, grand slam. Texas is finally bringing the championship home to Austin.
Can Texas repeat? That's the big question for the Longhorns this year, coming off their first title in program history a year ago. Number 2 in the RPI this season. Top 5 strength of schedule. Do keep in mind that there has never been a Women's College World Series Finals rematch from the previous year since the current format was introduced in 2005. We shall see.
Oh, that's definitely an interesting nugget there.
We have any odds-on favorites? You're still waiting to see how today shapes up?
I think wait till today shapes up. Also, and it sounds so cliche because obviously you wait till Supers finishes, but I think going into regionals, you have 4 or 5 teams that you can expect to get there. The question is going to be, how do they play and how do things factor out between now and then? Right now for Texas, Tegan Cavan's very rested. What is Supers going to look like? Last year she had to throw quite a bit as they went 3 games against Clemson.
(1-1) to Samaya Jones. This is
for Oklahoma, the hitting is there. The pitching has been up and down throughout season. Alabama does have a fairly complete team. They are the #1 seed, but they've shown vulnerabilities at time as well. And let's not forget, Texas Tech, we mentioned, came from the 8-run deficit, but they still have the 2-headed monster of Nigeri Kennedy and Caitlin Terry, and that's a duo that is hard to go up against.
It is absolutely wide open. Meanwhile, Baylor trying to ruin the party. For the Bears, I mean, on one hand, this is a Baylor team that was run-ruled twice this year by Texas, so they're right in this one. And considering, listen, their pitcher has only allowed 3 runs to one of the greatest offenses in the country that is averaging 7.5 runs per contest. So they're doing a decent job. When is the offense going to come through against Tegan Cavan, who has retired 9 in a row? Nobody has reached since the leadoff hitter to start the game, Brooklyn Carter, singled.
Well, and we've talked about it. The way Tegan Cavan turns it on in postseason, it's hard to crack the junior, right? But to the point of Baylor being run-rolled early in season and not now, you're talking about a very young team that even halfway through season didn't have a ton of experience. And so they have built on that. Coach Glenn Moore talking about how they are now playing like the team he thought he was going to have. And it's the right time. It's postseason. There's no better time to see them playing at their full potential.
A full count coming up to Samaya Jones. Over to third, Nichols is there. I want to remind you, all weekend long, the 7 Innings Live crew will keep you updated on the action from all 16 sites around the country. Alyssa and Tara and Tori doing a great job in studio today, and so much to get to on Regional Final Sunday. Here, Texas hangs on to win this. They advance to the Supers. Baylor has to win twice to keep their season alive. Faith Piper trying to get something going. 4 hits in the regional. A couple of walks as well. Big swing and a miss. Well, for Baylor, we saw the small ball early on. Is that something, I mean, they've done it all season long. That's been the key. Do they have to try and go back to that?
I think they have to try to use it. It's trying to use it when Texas isn't expecting it. You can see the corners are playing in now for Texas, and that's because of the small ball that Baylor tried to use earlier. As the pitch comes, both Katie Stewart and JC Nichols more in the hitter's face than they have been in the first 2 games of this regional.
It's a Baylor team that is no stranger to deficits. 8 wins on the year when trailing after 4, and we mentioned they trailed one of the better teams in the nation, Texas Tech, 6-1 before pulling off the comeback. Down 3 here. The 2-2 to Piper. Pokes one over to short. Martinez. 3 straight groundouts now induced by Kavan. 2 away.
Alex, why that looks routine play. You just see the smoothness of Vivi Martinez. And we've talked about it, having to sit out last year due to a torn ACL. But a lot of times an athlete will come back and you still see a little bit of hesitation or maybe a little bit less range. Vivi Martinez back to 100% and better than ever. And I think that has been a big key for Texas defensively, as there's no question when a ball is hit that way, can Vivi Martinez make the play. She's shown the range up the middle in the 5-6 hole, and obviously didn't lose the arm while the knee was getting fixed.
Said she learned a lot from her year on the bench, recuperating from that torn knee. Learned how to enjoy the success of others, her teammates, watching from the side. Even though she couldn't play during their championship run, was making sure to be present, root them on, and enjoy it. And has taken that joy back onto the field this year, having a career year fielding percentage-wise. Amber Tovin fouls one back, 2-1.
I feel like when you're injured as an athlete and you have to take a year off and actually sit, you can go one of 2 ways. It can kind of feel sorry for yourself. Vivi Martinez could have really been bummed that she was missing out on playing for a national championship, but instead poured into her teammates so they were at their best. And she even said a little bit more appreciation for what coaches have to do.
Tovin to left field. The 3rd consecutive 1-2-3 inning for Kavan and the Longhorns. Katie Stewart will lead off inning number 5, top 10 in the nation in home runs with now 26, 10th in the country in slugging percentage. Number 12 in on-base percentage. It's a big reason why she's a top 10 finalist for National Player of the Year. That list released this week, Kat.
And it's absolutely no shock that she's on there. It's not just that she has power. She has been able to display that power consistently this year as a junior. When we talked to her, Alex, she talked about Aaron Earlywine and his ability to teach her keeping on playing with the rise ball, but also being able to cover the drop ball in the same at bat or the same game if necessary. In years past, she'd be good in one part of the zone, but not necessarily both in the same type of contest.
We've talked about her bat speed and her exit velocity, sometimes exceeding 80 miles per hour on home runs as her hitting coach Aaron Earlywine looks on. She not only has exit velos of 80 plus, she apparently throws harder than 80 miles per hour. She was a shortstop in high school back in Frankfort, Illinois, and her first baseman used to complain of a bruised hand because she was clocked at throwing more than 80 miles per hour from short.
Well, and I think that's why we saw Texas move her to shortstop last year with Vivi Martinez not being there. They were trying to figure out what defense worked best, and she was at shortstop for a while. Many expect her to move behind home plate next year with Reese Atwood graduating.
And they don't give her a chance to show off that exit velocity here. Second walk to Stewart.
Oh, not surprised. If someone has the capacity to increase the lead single-handedly, don't allow them the opportunity to do that. And right now for Baylor, while Texas has the lead, the momentum has kind of flattened out. So if Baylor can keep Texas's offense from grabbing any more momentum, then they still have a shot to be able to swing it their way.
Baylor is right in this thing. Texas has just one hit in their last 10 at-bats, and that was a bunt single. Heck of an outing in the circle by Peyton Tanner.
She's done a really good job mixing speeds and trusting her spin. Seen a couple pop flies off the bat because of her off-speed pitch. But remember, too, walking Katie Stewart, not so bad when you turn double plays at the rate Baylor has. They have now tied a season high for the program of 31 double plays. And 4 of those just in the last 2 days.
Well, and when you look at Tanner, I mean, listen, she was a top 5 recruit in the nation, began her career at Knoxville last year, playing for the Lady Vols. As that one is in there, threw a perfect game during her time with Tennessee, but was stuck in a logjam behind Carlin Pickens, Sage Margetko, Aaron Newer, and decided to hit the portal and make her way to Waco. Martinez, that one finds its way to center field. The Longhorns with 2 aboard and no outs here in the 5th inning.
Well, this pitch, outer half, but Martinez just a hard ground ball up the middle. Only chance Baylor had for that was Peyton Tanner to knock it down, and the speed of that at your shins as a pitcher, the move out of the way, while a lot of people say, hey, just field it. It gets on you fast.
Adea Wallace replaces Stewart over at second, Martinez at first, and here comes Reese Atwood. 0 for 2 in this one, but went yard yesterday in Texas's second game of the regional. 17 homers on the year, 72 for her career. Lays off that one, the 2-time first-team All-American, adding to her home run total yesterday. Coming up just a little bit shy of where Katie Stewart deposited hers. Katie Stewart said they do have a friendly rivalry going on, as you would expect. The Smash Sisters, as they call them. They have a poster of that up in their locker room. Atwood, 279 career RBIs, the active leader in the nation. But Stewart on a pace to catch her, at least in the home runs department.
Well, Reese Atwood recruited to Texas mainly for her defensive abilities as a catcher. And as a freshman, was hitting well enough that they were like, all right, we'll take it. And Coach Mike White said, then he watched Reese go to work, and she wanted to be the best she could be in every category. And so offensively, put time in. We've seen her adjust even defensively, as good as she was, work on framing with Tegan Cavan and the other pitchers. And we've watched the arm work, so Reese Atwood, the complete package.
Lays off that one. The quick throw back to second. Oh my, Wallace stumbled, but just made it back in time.
As Wallace tried to turn and go, slipped a little bit out there.
Flores with a nice throw behind the dish for Baylor. Payoff pitch on the way with 2 on, no outs. And the bases will be loaded for Texas. Trying to break this thing open in inning number 5.
Well, the patience by Atwood. After being aggressive early in the count, Fouled 2 off, but forcing Tanner to come back over the plate.
Here comes Leanne Good, the senior second baseman out of San Antonio, having a career year at the plate. .372 average, 11 homers. Takes strike one right there from Tanner, who has walked 2 and allowed a single in this inning.
And there's back-to-back off-speed pitches. You see the first one in the zone, a little off-speed curve that sat over the outside corner. That a changeup that drops out of the zone, trying to get Leanne Good to chase that off-speed pitch in the dirt. And those are the tricks Mike White talked about when he talked about Peyton Tanner.
Over to short, the throw home, and that Baylor defense comes through, getting the out. Bases loaded with 1 away. Score still 3-0, and up to the plate steps the power-hitting freshman Hannah Wells, a National Player of the Year in high school, who launched 86 home runs during her time in the high school ranks, 14 this year in the college ranks. By the way, not a bad pitcher as well. Struck out 7 in 3 perfect innings out of the bullpen on Friday. And pops it up. Now 2 away with the bases loaded. I mean, this would be a Houdini act by Tanner and the Bears if they can get out of this inning unscathed. Texas a moment ago had the bases loaded with no outs.
Well, if they can get out of this, that's some energy for Baylor to swing their way, use the defensive momentum to be a catalyst for the offense. But it's the off-speed pitches. Peyton Tanner is using that little off-speed curve. It has some upspin, so that's where we see the infield fly ball off the bat of Hannah Wells.
And Texas will send up a pinch hitter, one of the best in recent Texas history. The junior Vic Hunter delivered a pinch hit RBI double earlier in the regional. And you may remember a couple years ago in the Supers in this ballpark, a grand slam against the Aggies. That one turns foul.
A little check swing there by Hunter. Not what you want. Go out, swing big. But saved by the little bit of an angle off the bat there.
Well, you feel like this could be the game here. If Texas comes up with a hit, they could really extend their lead and put Baylor behind the 8 ball. If the Bears can keep it a 3-run game, they have a chance. Vic Hunter over to third, and it goes off of Marshall. Texas brings home a run.
Well, when you have tricks up your sleeve like Peyton Tanner, an off-speed pitch, it'll spin when a batter puts it in play, and this just spins up over Kagan Marshall. A break for Texas, and unfortunately for Peyton Tanner, she thought she had a ground ball out, and the inning continues.
An error by the freshman Marshall, and you said it. We play on here in the 5th. Bases still loaded for J.C. Nichols. Marshall, who has had such a good season, especially at the plate, leading the team in home runs. Couldn't hang on to that one. Here comes Nichols, who reached on an error in the 2nd. Dropped down a bunt single in the 4th.
Well, the unfortunate part for Kagan Marshall, she kind of got an in-between hop on that one. Needed to almost take a step back to let the high hop be at her face. She would have had a shot at going 1 or even tagging third with Reese Atwood coming.
Bases still full of Longhorns. Snead over at first. Good at second, Atwood at third. Pitch number 100 on the day. Coming up from Tanner. who has kept her team in it. Only 2 of the 4 runs allowed have been earned. Nichols, this time Marshall does hang on, but Texas plates another. They will take a 4-0 lead into the bottom of the 5th inning of this regional final. Texas with a 4-0 lead, and tickets are being punched around the country as we speak. Florida and Georgia, the first 2 teams this year to advance to the Supers.
Yeah, both those teams taking care of business in their first game of the day, not having to force Game 7. But on the other hand, Florida State has already forced Game 7 in their regional after defeating UCF 2-1, and Duke right now ahead of Arizona 8-6, trying to force Game 7 over there.
Well, that's what Baylor would have to do if they want to advance. Win this one to force a Game 7 against Texas. But running out of time, they are the home team. So 3 more innings to bat. With a win, Texas moves on to play the winner of the College Station Regional. But the way Tegan Cavan is throwing, it doesn't look good for the Bears. 1 hit allowed so far, and that was to the first batter of the game.
Yeah, after that first hitter, absolutely nobody has been on base. Between her ability to stretch the zone, but also the defense behind her being able to make the routine plays, they've been in control of this one.
What makes her so good from your vantage point? What is so difficult to get through against her?
Well, she not only throws upper 60s to 70, but she also has really good spin. And it's spin in both directions, going up in the zone as well as down out of the zone. And so when you can spot one of those 2 in the zone and then use the other for the chase, so she throws that rise ball on multiple levels in the zone and out of the zone, but then uses that drop ball for the chase, it's hard for a hitter to pick up which to swing at.
Gets Cran to fly out.
Well, and here you'll see, this is the rise ball, and this one is in the zone, so it's going through. That one, she stair steps even lower, but then she comes with this drop. So you think, hey, this is going to be outer half. Oh, and then let's also say she takes speed off it and throws a changeup. So she has 2 different speeds, 2 different movement patterns, so you have to be able to pick that up out of the hand with the hard stuff coming 70 miles an hour.
And certainly doesn't solely rely on the strikeout. 3 strikeouts today, but again, no walks and just 1 hit. And the scary thing for opponents is, as we talked about earlier, and the numbers back it up, she just flat out gets better once the postseason arrives.
I will say, since that home run given up in the SEC tournament, if you go back and watch Tegan Kavon, she has not missed location-wise. So when you hit good locations and you have elite spin rate the way she does, it makes it hard to square balls up, which creates a lot of fly balls, a lot of miss hits.
Finds the strike zone against Kagan Marshall, one of the best home run hitters in recent years out of Robinson, Texas, just down the road from Waco. 10 home runs to lead the team as just a freshman. And keep in mind, Baylor didn't have a 10 home run hitter all of last year.
You know, and Kagan Marshall, we talked to her, grew up wanting to wear the green and gold of Baylor. She wanted to be a Baylor Bear, said she had started going to camps when she was a youngster. So she looked up to Lindsay Cargill. And now able to fill those shoes, both playing third and hitting, but gonna be a big power hitter for Baylor as she matures over her career.
But strikes out there against Kavon. Just unhittable right now.
Well, right now, Kavon just a master class in location. This up and in, you see it even tails in behind Marshall just a little bit. She's able to command that pitch well. So you have to pick a side, pick a height, pick a speed against the junior.
Kavon was second in the SEC in strikeouts this year, and Baylor just having trouble making contact over the last couple of at-bats. 584 Ks. Just a little bit behind you, Kat, but not too shabby.
You know what? She has a national championship ring that she gets to put on her finger, so whether it comes with less Ks or more Ks, I'm pretty sure she's happy with that. And you know what? I'll trade 1,500 Ks if it meant we came home with a ring.
We'll give her a few of those for a championship. Ahead 0-2 here to Olivia Bittner, who struck out in the second inning. Over to third, Nichols handles that one. We have completed 5 here in Austin. Texas leading it by 4.
The NCAA Softball Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Love the emotions from two of the newest members of the AUSL, Leanne Good and Reese Atwood, taking part in today's game, along with AUSL Commissioner Kim Ing there, receiving golden tickets. And Kat, Leanne Good will be a part of your team the upcoming season.
Yeah, Leanne, we drafted her with the 8th overall pick to the Volts, but Reese Atwood was the 7th overall pick to the Carolina Blaze. So she'll get to go to Durham. I think she's excited to partner up with Carlin Pickens, who was their first draft pick. Doesn't have to swing against that 72, 75, 78 mile an hour drop ball anymore.
Can't wait for this season. There were insane crowds at those games around the nation. Last year, Ashton Maloney retired to begin the 6th inning, and now we go back up to the top of the order. What a job done by Peyton Tanner in the circle. This has been one of the best performances of her career. Just 2 earned runs in 5 1/3 against a team that is top 20 in the country in runs scored and has some of the best hitters in the nation.
Without a couple miscues, there are 2 errors, and without those 2 errors, this is a 2-0 ball game. That 2-run home run from Katie Stewart to start the first would most likely be the only scoring.
Caden Henry gives one a ride, and it is gone! Texas with their 2nd homer of the day.
I think she heard me saying that would be the only scoring, and she said, "Oh
Sure.
yeah, here, let's show off a little bit." But Caden Henry does have power. This pitch up in middle of the plate. Caden Henry absolutely stays through this dead center field. The leadoff hitter with her 2nd home run of the regional.
Tough luck for Tanner there, as we said, had fought so valiantly in the circle. Katie Stewart follows suit, back-to-back jacks! Texas breaking this one open in the 6th. And the bubbles are out yet again.
Well, this time a pitch on the outer half, but not out enough if you're facing Katie Stewart. And remember, Katie Stewart's first home run went to left field, so she knows if she's getting strikes, it's not the inner half. Takes that outside pitch off the scoreboard. And Texas coming to life here late in the game.
4th time through the order is a charm for Stewart and the Longhorns, who will knock out Peyton Tanner, the starting pitcher, who had kept her team in this ball game. But Baylor will send a new arm into the circle. The Longhorns just 2 innings away from advancing to a super. Texas has chased starting pitcher Peyton Tanner from the game, replaced by Sadie Ross. The sophomore had the best outing of her career yesterday, a no-hitter. Just the 4th in Baylor postseason history, her first eliminating Wagner on Saturday.
Well, remember, Alex, coming into this regional, Sadie Ross had thrown the least amount of innings for the main 4 arms. Casey West occasionally gets some spot relief appearances, but the main 4 arms for Baylor, Sadie Ross had thrown the least amount of innings. Has taken the ball here in postseason and really made a statement with the no-hitter and even in a relief appearance against Wisconsin yesterday.
Crowd thought maybe that was 3 in a row, but Carter was there. And again, it was the 4th time through the order. Texas found their rhythm against Tanner, and now a major deficit for the Baylor Bears to try and climb out of. getting outscored 6-0 and out hit 8-1. Here's Reese Atwood. This Baylor pitching staff has been so good all year, despite dealing with injuries throughout the season. A young staff as well. Running out of time here in Austin.
Well, and as a pitcher, regardless of who you're facing, the fourth time through the order, and sometimes even the third, it's hard. You've shown the hitters everything you have to throw most of the time. And obviously Texas familiar with Tanner already, having faced Baylor early in the season, but also just watching how this regional has unfolded, being able to scout the way she's pitched this weekend. So that fourth time through, unless you're going to mix up the way you throw, an offense is going to be ready for it, and Texas was at the top of the sixth.
Longhorns with 3 home runs on the day. Reese Atwood sending one into foul territory, and Baylor unable to make the grab. Atwood walked in the 5th inning. Also had a couple of flyouts. Her lone hit this weekend, a home run yesterday. And keep in mind, she started off the Women's College World Series a little bit cold before coming up with that huge hit against Nyjah Kennedy when Kennedy was trying to intentionally walk her. Atwood was 0 for 10 to start the Women's College World Series before that hit off Kennedy in the finals. Takes the 3-2 to deep right center. 3rd home run of the inning for Texas. They are pouring it on in Austin.
Well, ahead in a hitter's count, and you can tell, oh, this pitch isn't even on the plate. That is off the plate, but up. But you can tell Texas has a plan now to be going with the pitches. Baylor has been exploiting that outer half. Now Texas, both with the 2 home runs dead center and that one right center, you can tell they're starting to change their barrel angle and go with middle outside pitches.
Well, keep in mind, Texas is the visiting team today. They get 1 more run, and we will head to the bottom half of this inning in run rule territory. Atwood with her 2nd homer of the weekend, 73rd of her storied career. If you're an opposing pitcher, if it's out of the strike zone, they're still hitting it out of the yard. What are you supposed to do?
That one on replay, it's up in the zone, which makes it easier to get the barrel there, but that was off the plate, and Reese Atwood just said, yes, ma'am, thank you.
Leanne Good over to 3rd, and Marshall handles that one. Texas breaks this one wide open. A 3-run 6th inning, 3 solo homers by Henry, Stewart, and Atwood. Longhorns take a 7-0 lead to the bottom half. Texas has outscored their opponents 25-1 this weekend at the Austin Regional, out hitting Baylor 9-1. You combine that with perfect defense so far in the pitching by Tegan Kavan, who will come back out there with a 7-run lead and a smile on her face. Longhorns clicking on all cylinders right now, Cap.
Well, they're heating up at the right time, and they're able to adjust to both off speed to in and out. Tegan Kavan has been in command. We saw Hannah Wells with a great outing, and that's been the question for Texas. Who's going to be able to come in and give them consistent outings behind Tegan Kavan in the postseason?
Flores. You look at Baylor, their speed has been so good this year, their small ball. But when you talk about the home run ball, it just has not been their strength. Last in the Big 12 in home runs. And a lot of runners here trying to get something going, and they will send up a pinch hitter, Casey West, the fifth-year senior. Surprised at all Texas left Kavan in there?
Well, not really surprised. She hasn't been worked a lot this weekend, and you do want her to keep pace endurance-wise. A little surprised just in the fact they've gotten 4 of their 5 arms action. Now would be a prime time to get that 5th arm in. But she's going to have plenty of time between the end of this one and Supers to regroup.
And potentially one last at bat in the career of Casey West. Saved her biggest hit of the year for that major upset of Texas Tech a few weeks ago. Delivered a pinch hit 2-run single in the 7th inning. Sends one here to left center, and that will fall into the gap. Another nice pinch hit appearance for Casey West.
Well, Casey West, senior, does a great job on this inside pitch, and she kind of can tell it's coming. You see her step out, give herself some space, and drive this one over the head of Alyssa Sneed. Tegan Kavan a little disappointed in that one, but has been masterful up to this point, and now it's about the response here as Baylor, comes back to the top of the lineup.
Sending a pinch runner, Gianna Gusman. That is Baylor's first hit since the first batter of the game. Kavan had retired 16 in a row before that double. Back up to the top, Brooklyn Carter, who did get that hit for the Bears to start off the day. Well, this is a player in Carter, senior, who got emotional when she spoke with us this week about this potentially being the end of the road for her this weekend. Did not want it to end. Joined this club before last season, transferring over from Washington. And just a really upbeat personality. I mean, you talk about on the field, phenomenal dynamic center fielder, but her intangibles have been a huge addition to this squad as well. And she's retired two-way. Samaya Jones coming up to the plate. It looked like Baylor was going to get something going back in that first inning. Carter with the single. Jones appeared to reach to have runners on second and third with no outs, but it was challenged by Mike White and overturned interference on Jones. And the threat was over just like that.
Yeah, it looked like Baylor was going to really be in business having runners in scoring position, but Jones did not get into foul territory as she ran down to first, so she was ruled out for interference. Interesting enough, Alex, 2 hits against Tegan Kavan for Baylor, both of them seniors. Brooklyn Carter and, as you mentioned, Casey West here to get the double with 1 out in this inning. Casey West, the only hitter to have multiple hits off Tegan Kavan this season. She has 3 in Baylor's matchups.
Is that her number? But Jones does not. We are through 6 here in the regional final. The Longhorns 1 inning away from advancing. Time to take a look at today's Capital One rewarding performance, and it goes to the SEC Player of the Year, Katie Stewart. All business today. Hit that one nearly 300 feet and then smashed another one to center. 2 homers, extending her Texas single-season record to 27.
Oh, the junior has been absolutely mammoth this season. And those home runs, not just far, but they are loud and hard. And it's the consistency at which she's hitting them, and that's been the incredible piece as she chased and broke Reese Atwood's record.
I feel like she's got an alter ego, because when you talk to her off the field, she's happy-go-lucky. She's always smiling and laughing. But when you see her on the diamond, she's slamming bats. She's dead serious. Stewie, that is her alter ego, just turns into a whole different person. And putting this team on her back in the postseason. 2 homers in this one, 2 walks as well. And Texas with 3 home runs in the 6th inning. The Longhorns right now a complete weekend, offensively, defensively, and in the circle. Count evened up to Hannah Wells, 0 for 3. Wells, the latest in this assembly line of home run hitters. Mike White continues to bring to Austin. And she delivers a base knock. And the Women's College World Series returns to Oklahoma City as the action begins Thursday, May 28th, noon Eastern, live on ESPN. For more info, visit ncaa.com, the home for all NCAA championships. Will Texas make their way back there? They're looking good so far. A healthy lead. Already a couple of teams have punched their tickets to the Super Regionals, Florida and Georgia. Plenty of action going on as we speak.
Yeah, Florida, Georgia already moved on. Florida State and Duke both have forced Game 7 in their regional as they lost yesterday to have to win 2 to come out and continue their run. Alabama handedly up 6-0, and LSU has regained the lead against Virginia Tech.
So again, the winner of this regional faces the winner of the College Station bracket. They will get going in just a few minutes on ABC. If Arizona State wins one, they advance to face potentially the Longhorns. If Texas holds on to this lead, A&M would have to win 2 games in College Station today to keep their season alive. (2-1) to Snead. The Aggies, of course, we know what happened last year with them. #1 overall seed, hosting upset. They weren't ranked that highly this year, but they were still hosting. But up against the ropes, here's Alyssa Snead lining out.
Oh yeah, Arizona State up against the ropes A&M up against the ropes against a very hot Arizona State team. Arizona State went into the Big 12 tournament and eliminated 3 higher seeds to win that. Kinsey Brown, a 2-hit shutout against Texas Tech to end that Big 12 tournament with the championship. And she's who defeated them yesterday morning. 4-3 win for ASU. But you know, the energy and momentum very high for the Sun Devils going into that final here in just a few minutes.
Texas put up 9-0 and 9-1 run rule victories heading into today. And dominating yet again, but Baylor was hanging right with them through about the first 4 innings. Peyton Tanner, tremendous in the circle, only 2 earned runs. And then the Longhorns finally broke it open. Brooklyn Carter, one of those seniors who potentially is seeing her last inning of work here in Austin. And everybody's going to be safe.
Well, Taylor Anderson was put in to pinch hit, and she has good speed. She hits a number down the first baseline, but Duke's out of the way of Leanne Cran's tag.
Been a few tricky plays over at first base today.
Well, and Cran has to make sure she fields that spinner well first, and I think a little hesitation there gave Anderson time to cut just far enough away from the tag. And you can tell Cran knows she didn't tag her because she didn't throw any type of hands up or what, I tagged her as soon as they called her safe.
Mike White's going to send up another pinch hitter with 2 on and 1 away. Kaya Altmaier, the senior transfer from Arizona. And for a while Altmaier was platooning in left this year with Sneed. A career .356 hitter during her time with the Wildcats. Chops one over. That is a foul ball.
Well, and Coach White talked to us about the decisions in left field, and it's a matter of Sneed has good range laterally with a great arm, and Altmaier goes back well. And so I think depending on who they're playing, if they think there might be a lot of deep fly balls, Altmaier might get the nod, but here in regionals, Sneed has held down that spot.
Dribbler over to first. Cran steps on the bag. Don't miss out on the NWSL tonight on ESPN2 as Portland goes head-to-head with Angel City. Kickoff set for 6 p.m. Eastern. Watch it live on ESPN2. And you can stream the match on the ESPN app. Again, that is tonight at 6. 2 away, 2 on in Austin, top of the 7th inning. And a first pitch strike delivered in there from Sadie Ross. Caden Henry has had herself a weekend. A home run and 2 singles today. And yesterday, a big outing as well. 7 hits in this Austin Regional.
Leadoff hitter, not that she's cooled off at any part of the season, but you look at their last series, their run through SEC tournament, a lot of her hits, ground balls that got through. The power and the line shots weren't as apparent in her arsenal, but has found her swing here in the regional.
It's a 7-0 lead for Texas, but the crowd wants more. And groaning after that call, 2-2, 2 on, 2 away for Henry. Here we go, bottom of the 7th. Baylor down to their last 3 outs of the season. Back here at McCombs Field, the fans certainly enjoying themselves with the snow cones, the refreshments, and by the way, the on-field action's not too bad either. That young man enjoying this outing today by Tegan Cavan, as well as Texas's offense. The Longhorns 3 outs away from advancing to the Super Regional.
Well, Tegan Cavan has just scattered 2 hits, a leadoff single in the first, and then a 1-out double in the 6th. And other than that, Baylor has had no traffic on the bases. The free passes, absolute minimum today. It's really been her command. Just 1 3-ball count all day today. And really has been able to go right at these Baylor hitters and force a lot of easy outs for her defense.
Well, listen, regardless of this outcome, the future is bright for Baylor. Coming off their 17th appearance during Glenmore's tenure in a regional. 18 underclassmen on the squad. He actually thought last year's team was the most talented in program history, a veteran-laden squad that dealt with injuries. They failed to make the postseason. This year, he said, his expectations weren't extremely high. He knew he had a very young squad, one of the toughest schedules in the country, and it shows the job he has done coaching, the job these young players have done in Waco, making it back to a regional, making it back to a regional final. And like we said, so many of them he hopes to see next season in a Baylor uniform.
For Baylor, it just shows how they were able to keep the entire group to buy into staying the course. If you flow with the ups and downs and let your emotions ride with the ups and downs, it's hard to get yourself right at the right time. And making a regional was nice for the Baylor program, but advancing to the finals, even better as he goes out recruiting and hits the portal this summer.
Baylor down to their last 2 outs. Cavan with another strikeout, and what a performance by Tegan Cavan. And she looks like she is in prime postseason form.
Her spots have been absolutely perfect today. Hasn't left anything over the plate much. The one to Casey West, not incredibly a bad spot. You can see West just ready for it on the inner half. But also been able to use the drop ball when needed and mix the off speed just enough, but she hasn't needed a whole lot. The rise ball's really worked and she stayed throwing that.
That one will stay fair. Cavan has to hurry. Not in time. Amber Tobin, one of the seniors with potentially one last hit for her career.
Well, this a swinging bunt off the end of the bat and just placed in the right spot where Cavan has to come get it. And Tobin with some speed. Tough break for Cavan, but a nice break for Baylor.
Well, I'm just going to say we might as well bring up what happened yesterday in Lubbock. Texas Tech did trail 8-0 in the bottom of the 7th inning. It can happen. We're saying there's a chance. Leah Cran over to third, on to second for one, over to first. And congratulations, Texas. You are headed back to the Supers.
We've watched Baylor turn the double play, and that double play there ending the game for Baylor. But Alex, Texas controlled this one from the onset despite the single by Brooklyn Carter to start the game. The defense and Tegan Cavan were absolutely masterful, and the offense over time just got better and better against Baylor's pitching staff.
Tegan Cavan improves to 12-2 on the year as her team moves on for Glenmore. What a season, a 30-win year with 18 underclassmen as their year comes to an end. So Texas now awaits the winner of Texas A&M and Arizona State. If the Sun Devils win that game currently underway, they win one, they face Texas here in Austin next weekend. The Aggies would have to win twice to advance. For Kat Osterman, I'm Alex Loeb. Thanks so much for joining us. We send you now to Lincoln. Beth Bowens, Michelle Smith, and Jessica Mendoza.